had about 100 cows, and he was exiting to Niger, where they usually go. And then he was arrested by the police, taken to Mina, and at the end of the day, he lost 92 cows to corruption from the police to something and all this kind of thing. Now, what did he do? The balance of the cows, he bought one AK-47. Initially, he was not attacking individuals in the bush. He was attacking police posts. So when he attacked police posts, he would take their guns and use them for other operations. And that's how he get Dogo Jide, who is also his cousin. And he too, he was stripped off of his work. So what is happening to the Fulani? And then in the city, you have this Miyet Allah, who they call it Fulani the Idan Suyabudi. That is city Fulani. And they connive sometimes in terms of exploiting this kind of. But subsequently, now this issue of banditry come up, which most of the politicians in the country use this bandits one way or the other. And you see this, you don't see them just like, they are well organized. If you take the part of Niger, so yeah, part of Niger, you have the Dogo Gede area in Katsina, you have like Adamu, Yankuzo. But looking at all this kind of thing, these people have lost hope because there is no presence of government in these villages. At one time, when we went to take 9 women who were raped throughout the night by 40 bandits, we took them to the hospital, and the doctors said that we have to take them for VVM because they have been scattered. And this is what is happening every day. And most of these villages, so, and also let the politician know. What I can't understand, no, it's very important, let me, yeah. So you see the...
We're here of fact, federal, whatever. They meet here and share money. On the average, 200 million gets to every local government in this country every month. 200 million times 774. 200 million naira times 774. Every one of us in this room belongs to one local government or the other. When did you last go home? Did you see a grader leveling a village road? A small culvert? Did you see a water project? Did you see a primary school being repaired? There are teachers in villages today earning 5,000 naira a month. Teachers teaching our children. Children who will replace us are paid 5,000 naira a month as teachers. So when my friend there spoke about Zamfara, it's true. You go to some areas, there's no sign that there's a government anywhere nearby. And each month, 200 million on the average and 774 goes around our country and there is no sign. And yet each one of us comes from our local government. Now let me say something very quickly. We Africans are very good at copying. The white man has told us that democracy is marvelous. Democracy will never work if it is not the capstone of social and economic advancement of our people. What we are doing here is a fraud. Yeah, free and fair elections, yes. At the end of it, there are no visible changes. The widow in a distant village who is suffering is blaming one man in Abuja here. Is blaming Buhari. But nobody blames the governor, nobody blames the local government chairman. And we carry on and there's anger in the land. Mrs. Okaru made the analysis of the cost of food. We reached a stage where farmers can't even go to the farm and harvest their crops because they have to pay bandits. And those people who we call bandits don't see any connection between them and this country. They are so angry that for them it's a state of anarchy. We form our own government, we extort money from people, we torture them if they don't pay, because that's the only way we can be relevant. So, let me conclude by saying this. No democracy can function successfully if it is founded on a foundation of very turbulent and weak economic arrangements. And that's why we have trouble in South America, in parts of Southeast Asia, and in particular Africa. And finally, how do you grow the economy? I go to the bank, I have a project in my village, I want to do palm oil. And I want to take a loan and the interest rate is 27%. But the interest rate in Singapore is 2%. And in Europe, 3.5%. In some places, 0.5%. How do I build a factory to create a job to employ young people in the villages? And we have brilliant explanations for this situation. If we don't fix it, this country has serious problems ahead. And may God forbid that.
130, 250 million people end up with the kind of people who today hold so much power as governors. There must be something really broken about our political system, how our democracy isn't working. It is throwing up the wrong people to occupy and wield huge powers. This is something we need to learn. And hopefully we can factor this into 2023. Don't just give power to someone just because he has money to buy votes and simply move his way around the party and because somebody has anointed him. We will keep repeating the same mistakes and they will get worse. Our governors have 90% of our governors have no business being anywhere near power. And I say this because they don't have the preparation, the background, the competencies to be governors. And yet the democratic process says they've won the election. They know how to treat the system. So that's the first thing. We have the wrong people wielding power over people that are desperate for new and effective leadership. That's the first point. The second point, I think, is that all too often, the center, the Chief Agbobe is right, we blame the president, but not the governors and the local government. But sir, with due respect, the president does have a huge amount of influence over governors. He can rein in governors. He can exercise minimal power, he can exercise maximum influence. There are so many ways in which the president can influence the way governors work. There are federal institutions that can set standards. Is he interested? Does he just draw a line around his own and say so? And the thing is, governors are very good in reading the body language and the attitude of a president. Not just this president, but any president. If they think they can get away with murder, they will murder and will get away with it. And I was for the 10 years I was federal permanent secretary. I've seen the best and the worst in the conduct of presidents and governors. I've seen presidents who removed governors, and I've seen governors who took liberties and did everything that they wanted. So what we really need to do is put the federal system on the table and ask, what is wrong? What is it that makes it impossible to reduce the powers or to regulate the powers of governments, restructure the country? But this is a word that is anathema to a lot of people in power today. They think it is a southern agenda, or people go and tinker with the constitution. As we speak, I'm not sure that what is in the National Assembly will ever see the light of day. Huge amounts of ideas and suggestions and documents have gone into how to tinker the system. From the north, we are from the north, you and I are from the north. 19 governors, 19 legislatures, 19 judiciaries. The cost of governance and enough can solve the problem of banditry and kidnapping and poverty and education.
Okay, and at this point, thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Let's get Dr.
When you look at it within the context of banditry, I don't think there is any state governor, his Commissioner of Security Affairs, or Special Advisor on Security Affairs that does not actually have contact of these high-profile bandits, if we are to explain it within the context of banditry. And not only that, the bandits have, to some extent now, trying to establish a relationship with these governors simply because they are waiting for the raining day. And when is the raining day? 2023 general elections. They know fully well that they are actually going to make and play a very important and significant role. We've seen in some of these states in which the bandits were being hired to either determine who should get which votes, for instance, in a particular election. So it is really very important we should identify some of these issues. The issue of the negligence of rural areas and the rural communities is actually on the increase. And not only that, the bandits are really fully aware of this and they are ready to make use of this opportunity. The fact remains that they are doing what they are doing because we want them to do, and they are easily getting away with it. To the point that some of them today have said they are sick and tired of banditry, they are now ready to repent. But the issue is Nigerian political class are not ready for the bandits to repent. Because of what? If at all they are going to repent, they should please repent at the right time. And when is the right time? After 2023 general elections.
That is like a